Okay, guys, let's do this. I'm better than I was the other day. I'll start with that. Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates here. Welcome. If you are new, you might have to go back several videos to catch yourself up on what in the world's going on in my life. If you're returning, thank you for coming back and putting up with me and my hysterics. I know it wasn't really hysterics, and yes, there was a lot of stress, and I'll get into that a little bit. But I do want to thank those of you who gave me words of encouragement and just understood how stressed I was when I did that video the other day. That was the video saying who was getting which of my knitting whips. I do appreciate your support, and I appreciate all the kind words that you shared with me. I'm better. A couple days have passed. I've gotten some good news. I've gained some perspective. Lord knows what we're going through here isn't a big deal compared to what some people out there have to go through, and I know that. So what am I talking about? We'll kind of start in the present and work backwards. I guess. I don't know. I have no notes, so bear with me today. So on my video the other day, I had mentioned that our apartment is a bit torn apart. I am in the model apartment. They are putting us in here until our apartment is basically livable again. Most of it is livable. It's just the kitchen, the flooring is torn up, the fans. So those of you that are new, we had a water leakage in our apartment that was caused by a dog chewing through the water pressure line going into the toilet 2 floors above us. The people in the the apartment above us is empty, so there was nobody to move around there. I don't know what the 4th floor looks like. I don't know what they're dealing with up there, or whether all the water just came down, but our kitchen floor is torn up. We have holes in the ceiling with fans with plastic tubing attached to them to air out the joists. We have a big dehumidifier. By big, I mean like big. Probably comes up to my chest in the middle of our kitchen. Those are still running. I don't think the workers were in yesterday. I was down there until about 9:30 this morning getting ready. They hadn't come yet. Whatever, we're out of there. We're kind of living in both apartments. We get ready. We haven't moved any of our bathroom stuff or our clothing down here, and it's just down the hall, probably about 5 doors, 6 doors, whatever. So we're doing our getting ready there. We haven't really moved any food here, so we kind of fix our food and then come down here and eat. It's kind of like, whatever. Better than it was. We at least don't have to be in the same place with the fan and the smell and all that. So my one hope now is that they do get it fixed before we leave for Hawaii next Saturday, because the pet sitter will be coming in to take care of the cats. And I don't think the apartment complex is going to want to have their model apartment taken up all that time. But anyways, time will tell. The other thing I was dealing with the other day was a doctor's appointment that was happening yesterday. It was a ultrasound follow-up to my mammogram in September. I've had follow-up mammograms before, so it's not necessarily the first time, but this was the first time where the doctor actually said there was a nodule that was found and they needed to do a follow-up ultrasound. Now, I was 80% sure and sending out positive vibes that it was just a fibroid cyst. I have a history of that, only because back when I was in college, so quite a number of years ago, in '86, I had a fibroid cyst removed from the same breast. So I was betting on that history. So while I was worried, I wasn't worried overall. I found out the day before we left on our 2-week trek across the country that there was this thing I had to deal with when I get back. But I refused to let it worry me on the trip because I wanted to enjoy it, the trip, to the fullest extent. And I did. But there's always that thing in the back of my mind that says, you know, your mother died when she was 54, and that's how old you are, and you are a lot older, and it could be, even though there's no history of breast cancer in your family, it starts somewhere, right? So there's that 20% that's eating away. So I went to had the ultrasound yesterday. The radiologist was able to read the scans immediately, and the assistant, or whatever they're called, came right back into the room and told me that it is just another cyst. I was also pretty sure that even if it was a cyst, I would have to have some kind of surgery to deal with it somewhere in between the move. But apparently they've deduced that cysts are reabsorbed or broken down by the body. There isn't a need for surgery. I will have to have another ultrasound in 6 months. Fine. So yeah, much ado about nothing. It's all good. I'm much relieved. Weight off my shoulders. So that turned out absolutely fantastic. So going back before that, the trip. Many of you have seen some pictures. If you watch the, sorry, just bumped my mic. If you watch the video of my time at Keepsakes, you know that I had a wonderful time. It was awesome meeting Pam and Steph. Just a joy. They're very welcoming and sweet and warm, and we didn't really have a chance to sit down and talk, but I'm looking forward to that. You also know that I came away with a pile of things. I may or may not do the haul in this video. It's going to depend on how long this goes on. I might split it up and do a separate video because I have that. I have gifts from Maria. I have I'm looking over here because this is where my pile is. I have the floss from Victorian Motto. I have some exchange patterns. I have the stuff I got at the Taos Wool Festival. So I'm just going to see how long I ramble on here. But anyways, the trip. Fantastic. Taos. OMG. Of course, I took a ton of pictures of doors and windows, texture, colors. Taos was amazing. We didn't have enough time. We didn't have a vehicle to get around ourselves, so we will be going back to Taos. Beautiful setting, beautiful mountains. The RV park that we were in was perfectly situated. The drive, you know, it was a hard drive in many ways because it was most days going all day, stopping overnight, getting up early, going all day, stopping overnight, wearing more on Mike than on me, but it was, but in many, you know, so there was some, it wasn't easy necessarily to make that kind of trek in 2 weeks, but the places we stopped were perfect. Cincinnati, Keepsakes, and then our friends Janine and Dave came down from Canada to spend a couple days with us. We stopped on our way, let's see, after Taos, we spent 3 days in Taos, which was fantastic. Met up with Maria Kutzner and her husband Dawn, and another friend of ours and her husband Lynn and Bob. We had worked with Lynn many moons ago, so it was good to hook up with her again. We stopped on our way into Arizona. We stopped at the we drove through the Painted Desert and Petrified Forest National Parks. Well worth the time and the drive. Just incredible landscape. And then we stopped at Meteor Crater because my husband was desperate to see the hole in the ground. It was actually interesting, but I had to keep teasing him about seeing the hole in the ground. And then on home to Surprise, Arizona, where Mike's parents live. As many of you know, we have a new channel called Sunsets and Sangria. I will be getting the videos for all of these different places we stopped up on that channel. I'll be adding some pictures to this video as well, like I always do. Probably of Taos some of Keepsakes maybe. I don't know for sure yet because I haven't done it. But there'll be photos. But most of it is going to be on our channel, Sunsets in Sangria. And I will be uploading those videos, but scheduling them out to be one a week, so that they'll last, basically. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing more about the trip and seeing more video, seeing more pictures, then I invite you to check out our channel, Sunsets in Sangria. This country is amazing. If you ever get a chance to do a road trip like this, we went, so over the course of those 2 weeks and driving pretty much from coast to coast, we didn't quite make it into California, of course. We were in, the tidal lowlands in Maryland, up into the Appalachians in Pennsylvania, and the deciduous forests in that area, coming across Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, farming land, cornfields, flat open spaces. As we get into Missouri, we're getting into the Ozarks and the high prairie. Kansas, we saw fields and fields of this plant we didn't know, I'd never seen before. It was sorghum. Never saw sorghum growing. Very, very interesting looking plant. Lots of windy open plain areas. Lots of wind farms. That was really cool to see. And solar farms. So the high plains coming into Colorado, then more of the high plains, and then you know what's waiting for you out west, and you just keep looking. And you just keep looking until you start to see a shadow on the horizon, and you wonder, is it just clouds or is it the mountains? And before you know it, you can start to see those mountains. And the Rockies are one of my favorite places in the world. They're just spectacular. We came down through Colorado Springs, and as we learned from the woman at the Taos Wool Festival, and if you haven't watched if you're not interested in knitting, I understand. You probably didn't watch the Taos Wool Festival video, but I interviewed a woman there whose business is called Front Range Bags. It is project bags for knitting. She is from Colorado Springs, so she explained that the Rockies that you're seeing in Colorado Springs are actually called the Front Range, and so a lot of things are named Front Range. So we followed those south down into Taos, into the range of mountains that's the southernmost part of the Rockies, called the Sangre de Cristo, pine forest interspersed with the beautiful yellow fall foliage of the aspens. So that dark green evergreen with bursts of yellow in between. And again, we have video of all of this. Came down through those into Taos, and Taos is just surrounded by mountains. So then we're in the pine forest, and then we come out of there down into Albuquerque, and we're into the high desert, and across into Arizona in the high desert, and through Flagstaff where it's more pine forest, and then down into the desert in Phoenix. Just a spectacular country that we live in. If you ever get a chance to get out on the road, I hope you find it as fascinating as I did. So, stitching. Well, no stitching finished objects, but as you can see, I posted this on Instagram. I just had the other ribbing on the sleeve to do, and I got that done last night. So I have my Stickney Tee sweater finished. Still needs to be blocked. I'll get that done here in a day or two, and this will be going to Hawaii with me. I think this will be perfect Hawaii wearing attire. Hawaii, we leave next Saturday, so I think we're looking at 9 days now. We head out to Hawaii for a house hunting trip. Mike is starting to think that instead of renting, we may buy, because renting is going to be an awful lot of money that's basically just thrown away. So we're going to start crunching some numbers here tonight and see if that makes sense for us to do. So, stitching. I did a lot of knitting on the trip, stitching mostly in the evening. So I took 2 projects to work with me. The Playing with Jacks. Loving how this is coming out. This is on 36 count. You can see I don't have too much more to do. 36 count Dark Mountain. This is by XJU Designs. This is her, one of her club, Fabric of the Month Club fabrics. So you can't necessarily get this in her Etsy store, but there are other ones that are fairly similar. But the colors that are showing here are perfect. So loving how this is coming out. So I need to, as you can see, finish, whoops, upside down. Finish. I didn't actually manage to put in my bag this dark color here on this pumpkin, so I didn't have that. So instead of messing any more with this pumpkin, I moved on to the black in this one. I have these little acorns to put in, and then the rest of the bottom border to do. And I think I still have the back stitch on the middle pumpkin to do. But I am loving this, and because it's on 36 count, it's a small little thing. So I am going to have, you can see, quite a bit of this fabric. Whoop, upside down. How does that keep happening? Quite a bit of this fabric left, which also thrills me because it is gorgeous. So, Playing with Jacks by Cricket Collection. Love it, 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 love it. So that one, and then the other one that I worked on was Autumn Time, New York Dreamer. This one, when I am done with it, is going to Linda Hoberg. Stitches with Sophie on Instagram. So again, got a nice chunk of that done. I think this is adorable. The interesting thing about this, well, one of the interesting things is the red and the green apples is supposed to be switched, flipped, and somehow my brain wasn't working, so oh well, doesn't matter. The pattern calls for the acorns to be in a, I believe it's a GAST, a Gentle Arts thread called Fudge Ripple. And my Fudge Ripple has an awful lot of the white in it. So you can see there's less in these ones, but this one turned out to have quite a bit. And I kind of went, oh well, I don't care. It's fine. And then this acorn down here is charted to be all the same color as the cap. And I went, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm doing it as charted. I think it's weird, but whatever. Whatever. I'm using Covered Wheel, I believe, or Covered Wagon. I'm sorry, Covered Wagon, Victorian Motto floss for the autumn, where it's autumn time. Loving how that is looking. These leaves that are kind of loose here are supposed to be different colors of like the same colors that are used elsewhere. I decided, I had gotten this Threadworks colorway, and I decided to use that for any of the loose leaves that are scattered through the design, and I'm loving how those are looking because it's really kind of pulling all the different colors in. So I think that's awesome. This is a Threadworks again. The color number is 1044. Isn't that fun? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I don't have a whole lot more of this to go. I have the rest of the word time, and of course the letters don't take long. These letters don't take long. So there's just some scattering of some elements to finish. My plan, so the past few days I've only been knitting. I just got some stitching in on Playing with Jacks last night once I got this done because I really wanted to get this finished. Now, part 10 of Harbor Haven is out, so I have got to get back to Harbor Haven. Part 10? Part 11. It just came out the other day. I haven't downloaded it yet. Part 11. Anyways, I've got to get back to Harbor Haven, but I do want to keep working on my fall ones because I really want to get those done. So I'll probably spend an hour, maybe I'll go back and forth between these two an hour every day so I can be touching them and moving along on in them, but still spending a lot of time on Harbor Haven and getting that done. Then there are also some presents I need to get done before we move as well, and Christmas. Yeah. So, yeah, we're not doing too bad. We're only at 20 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the haul. I'm not going to linger too long on any one thing. I'm on the, to upload, I'll be either on the community Wi-Fi here or the Xfinity Wi-Fi that we can reach in this apartment. So I'm not sure how the upload is going to go. So I don't want this to get too awfully long, but I think I'm just going to go for it. Okay, I'm going to start with my Victorian Motto Club flosses. I'm actually going to get in touch with Nancy and have her put me on hold until we get totally settled in Hawaii, because I don't want anything to go astray. But these are the limited edition colors, and as always, just gorgeous. Cherry go round. Look at the variegation in that. Is that beautiful? And yes, it works. Mountain grasses. Again, one, whoops, it's slipping, hold on. Don't fall on the floor. Mountain grasses, again, beautiful variegation. I'm gonna miss these. I have so much though. And 20 yards, you know. Summer winds, look at that. Nancy does such a great job. Autumn leaves. And you know, I actually haven't taken these out of their packs to really look at them yet, so this is kind of my first glimpse of, not first glimpse, I've glimpsed at them, but I haven't really been able to look closely at the variegation. Gorgeous autumn leaves. Halloween purple. This one doesn't have, oh yeah, so this does have a DMC number, so that usually means it's not as variegated, and that's what I was just going to say. Really scrumptious purple though. And last but not least, in the limited, this is called Antique. So I don't see as much variegation there. I think there is some. I think it's supposed to be like a, what, verdigris maybe? Isn't that pretty? All right, so that's the, oh wait, is that the primitive? That's the primitive. Those are the primitive colors. Then these are the limited editions. And I know you've probably seen some of these on other people's things as well. Oh, Storm Sky. Oh, look at the variegation in that. I tell you what, if you are thinking at all about joining Nancy's Floss Clubs, do it. You will not be disappointed. Look at the colors in that. I love that. Sweet potato. So kind of a darker rust. Don't see a whole lot of variegation. I think it's just more tonal than anything. Black cherry. Again, doesn't seem to be a whole lot of variegation in that, but that's a very pretty red. Oh, this is pretty. Orchard plum. Look how pretty that is. Oh, there's another one that I'm dressed for my floss today. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, cat hair on it. This one is called Eastern Pine. Pretty greens. That's pretty. That's a great Christmas color. And last but not least, slate. And this, oh, it's kind of that one of those kind of purpley, kind of gray ones again, with those shoots of the lighter color going through it. Goodness, that's gorgeous. Oh, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, not doing these in any particular order at all. So Cindy Cross Stitches got in touch with me asking if I would be willing to do a trade with her for my Indigo Lane after I showed that as a finished thing last week. No, a couple weeks ago, whenever I did my last Flosstube, you guys remember. She sent me the sweet little note. Snoopy, of course. She's a sweetie. And then these two, she wrote in the note that she really didn't know what I would like the best. So she sent me a couple. And the first one is one of the Summer House Stitch Works Fragments in Time. And I believe these are from this year. I think I saw a copyright somewhere, 2017, so they're last year's. And I can't tell you how thrilled yet I was when I saw this. I've been resisting buying all of these for a while now. I love the colors on them. I love the patterns. So now she got me my first one, so that means I need to get the rest of them, right? Before I can't get them anymore. This one's number 7. I love it. And then also she gave me Mary 1 by Plum Street Sampler. And I have looked at the Marys a number of times. So I guess I need to get all the Marys too, right? That's so cute. I love that. So, thank you, Cindy. Those are perfect. Perfect. All right. The other set of goodies I got was from Maria. So Maria Kutzner on Instagram. We've been exchanging messages for a while now. She's also a knitter. And I just happened to mention in one of our messages, she lives in Texas, any chance you're going to Taos for the Taos Wool Festival? And she talked to her husband, and I guess he wasn't real keen at first, but she talked him into it. And they came to Taos, and it's like I was reunited with the other half of me. We hit it off like that. Finishing each other's sentences, saying something that the other one was just about to say. It was great. We had a wonderful time. She was very generous, brought me some sweet, sweet gifts, a sweet little card with a kitty on it. So part of what she gave me, let me dig out this one, was project bags that she makes. Not all those who wander are lost. Could that be more perfect? So 2 for stitching with the vinyl fronts and a beautiful turquoisey, watercolory lining, which again, how perfect can you get? And then also a knitting project bag. And this one has a little something something in it. I'll show you in a second. So those, and this one already has, this is where I'm keeping Autumn Time. I know the colors don't match. I don't care. I needed to use this. Maria, you are just too generous. So she also included, oops, some flosses. This one is Mediterranean Sea by Gentle Art, and of course, perfect. And then Classic Colorworks Bing Cherry. Perfect. Love those. And she also gave me, so I have the main design for this one, the centerpiece here, but I only had one of the month things, and I think the only one I have is March. So now I have September as well, with the buttons that go with. So perfect. And then this other cute little one from Hands On Design, Ahoy. Perfect. And I think I need to get all these other ones. So cute. And then the buttons to go with that. And she also got me, she had asked me, I think I had showed the regular flip-flops, and she asked me a while ago if I had the holiday ones, and I said, no, I don't. So, lo and behold, are those adorable? Mill Hill kit, so it has the perforated paper and the floss and all the beads. Look at all those beads. How fun is that? So I need to get working on that because Christmas in Hawaii, it's a thing and it's happening. It may not be much of a Christmas. Actually, this is going to be the first Christmas that I haven't spent with my boys. The first Christmas ever. So it's going to be fun in that we're in Hawaii for the first time, and it's going to be sad because I won't be able to spend Thanksgiving or Christmas with them. Thanksgiving, they aren't going to be able to get away. Well, Ben might, but by Thanksgiving, we're not going to have any furniture. So, yeah, and Samuel can't get away. And then Christmas, yeah, we may have our household goods by Christmas. We may not. So we're not even gonna be doing anything for Christmas this year. So won't be seeing the boys, so that's kind of sad, but Hawaii. So, all right, so now, okay, let me do, I'm saving keepsakes for last. I know, I'm gonna torture you. So the other thing that was in this sweet little bag is this skein of yarn. Maria and I got matching skeins. So this is from the Taos Wool Festival, from a company called Yarnies of Texas. I also did an interview on my Taos Wool Festival video of the dyer of this yarn. You can see it is gorgeous. I love what I call sophisticated colorways. I love dyers who aren't afraid to mix and play with color, and that's what this woman does. She had so many pretty skeins. So we have matching, Maria and I have matching skeins of that. And the other person, as I mentioned, that I interviewed was Front Range Bags, and this is the bag I got from her. So it has the two outside pockets. It has the little holding strap here, a really nice wrist strap for the zipper. Inside, I have my leftovers from my knitting this sweater, but it has, let's see if I can show you, 3 pockets here, a zippered pocket on the other side with her name tag there. One of the lawn maintenance guys just walked up the sidewalk, which is just right on the other side of this window I'm sitting in front of, so that's what you're hearing. I hope it's not too loud. And then one of the things, the thing that about these bags that I've never seen anybody else do in project bags, is she has these 2 little circles, and they are locking so you can open them. And what this allows you to do is, if you're doing color work, if you're working with 2 skeins, 2 balls of yarn, you can thread them through here, put them down on either in one of these pockets or on either side of the bag, and it will keep your skeins from getting tangled. So you can just pick up the bag and turn it and turn it and turn it every time you go back and forth across a row, so that the skeins won't get tangled. Again, if you're interested in learning more, check out my Taos Wool Festival video for that, because I interviewed, she does a great description of the bag. All right, now, are you ready? The famous green gingham bag from Keepsakes. I went a little crazy. My justification is it's going to be hard to get stuff in Hawaii. Don't tell me if it isn't. I don't want to know. So we'll start with charts. And you kind of saw a little bit of these in the video, but I'll show you more up close. And of course, Samples. Samples did it. And that store, oh my goodness. So La Di Da, Peace House. The sample for this is done in totally different colors. The house is like a red. This bottom border is totally different. I took a picture of it. I didn't think to find it before the video, so I'm sorry about that. But Barb at Keepsakes did write down all the color changes for me. And so there's that one. Warm Winter Woolens. I've been wanting this one for a while, so I went ahead and got it because yarn. Let's see. Poinsettia House. Little House Needleworks. Love that one. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. That's so pretty. This one, I just love the saying. It was done up in the store. Pursue your passion, follow your heart, share your joy, embrace life. And of course, the share your joy is what really got me, because of course I'm always talking about finding your joy. I love that. Ignore the phone ringing. That's Mike's phone. He's not allowed to take his phone to work, so it stays here, and whoever it is can leave a message. So the other three patterns I got are all from a company named Cedar Hill Counted Cross Stitch, and I believe they are from Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, Dayton, Ohio. I've never heard of this designer before, but of course they are fairly local to Keepsakes. So this first one is a kit. And this is the one I held up in my video and said, there's no price on it. It must be free. Not so much. But it is a kit. So it has the pattern, of course, the fabric, which I believe is a 32 count, and then all the floss. Some of them are DMC. There's one here that's a whiskey, and then we have a Weeks Dye Works. So look how pretty that is. I am so tempted to start this, but I can't. I absolutely cannot start anything else until I get these fall ones done and I get the presents done that I need to do before we leave. So the other one's from Cedar Hill. So that was Christmas winter. This one is autumn. So it says be ye thankful. These ones aren't kits. These ones are just, last two are just charts. And then the, I think this is the summer one, has the Black-Eyed Susans on it. So I had asked if she had a spring one. She doesn't have it in the store, but she's sure she does. So hopefully that's one I can get. Oh, that reminds me, I totally forgot. I ordered 2 charts from Keepsakes and they came in. Steph messaged me and I haven't called them yet to pay for it. I will do that when I get off of here. So, anyways, I love, love, love these ones. Cedar Hill Counted Cross Stitch Designs. And then the Christmas one, or the winter one with the holly and the pine. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so those are those. Those are the only charts, I think. I think so. If they aren't in the bag, they would be in the bag. That's the only charts. All right, I got a couple of Gentle Art flosses. These were in a bin called Shortcuts. And so they were cheaper. They were $1.50, just kind of all mixed together. So they don't feel like, I mean, they feel like they're 5 yards. Maybe they're not quite, but anyways, I thought those were pretty. I just pulled some out. I love that one. So Anyway, that. Now, fabric. This is where I went a little wild with fabric. Yeah. Okay, so we have 36 count vintage country mocha, a fat quarter. I have always loved vintage country mocha. I know it's a printed one. I've never used it. I had to get some. So a fat quarter of that. I'm going to be well stocked on fabric in Hawaii. I will have no excuses. 35 count Weeks Dye Works Iceberg. I saw this and had to get it because it is so me. It's washing out a little bit. It's a little bit more vibrant than is showing on camera. Yeah, I can't get it to really show. But 35 count Weeks Dye Works fat quarter of a gorgeous minty green color. Perfect. This one, oh, this is so pretty. This is a fat quarter, 36 count. It says WTS on it. I don't know what that is. I don't recognize that as anything. So Steph, if you see this and could tell me, I would love it. Or if anybody else knows, decipher that for me, please. But isn't this fun? I think this was actually called parchment. The color isn't written on here. But I loved the dye job of this. Gorgeous, yeah? So there's that one. Again, another fat quarter. This one is so scrumptious. Again, this is another one that says WTS on it. Burnt bronze, 32 count, another fat quarter. Look at this fabric. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at that. I mean, that's pretty enough to frame. Look at all the colors in that. I just can't get over it. Oh. So again, what is WTS? Maybe it's a local dyer. I don't know. For this one, I haven't done the calculations. I have to see. But for this one, I got that. Do you remember the Shades of Gold by, you know, shades of gold, shades of blue, shades of indigo, shades of purple, shades of everything, shades of olive, that company. I got shades of gold. And I'm thinking if I could find bright enough golds, that would be stunning on this. I just can't get over how gorgeous that is. So yeah, I had to get it. A fat quarter. Oh, that's so pretty. Then, let's see. Next we have Rnr Reproductions. I don't have my glasses on. Liberty Gathering Gray. That's what that word is. So this is just a little piece. This is a 40 count. Rnr Reproductions. Liberty Gathering Gray. That will be perfect for something. And then we have another strange little cut that I just love the color. Another 40 count umber. I have a feeling this is a Weeks because the weave's a little bit more open, or maybe a Witchelt. Doesn't say. But this is umber, and it's actually there. That's a little bit closer. Kind of more pumpkin-y, browny, pumpkin-y, burnt something. So another nice little cut of that. And then this last one is Lakeside Linens, Maritime White 40 count. Barb had said that Lakeside Linens, everybody's having an awful time getting Lakeside Linens in. And this this fabric, so again, it's a 40 count. This is a smaller cut, not quite a fat quarter. To me, I see greens and pinks. It's called Maritime White. I see greens and pinks. So this is just a nice neutral with some fun shading on it. So that's it. That wasn't too much, was it? it makes me want to start something on each and every one of those, especially, shall I show it again? Oh my goodness, this fabric is so pretty. Especially this one. It's kind of having a hard time going in and out. It's there, that's pretty close. It's richer. It kind of fades a little bit, but it's a rich, dark, scrumptious. That's fading out. Oh, goodness, look at that. Anyway, people, I'll stop drooling over my fabric. So plans, like I said, I've got to get back to Harbor Haven. I'm going to work an hour each day on, go back and forth between playing with Jax and autumn time. I also have to skein up or wind into balls the yarn for Stephen West's Texture Time. Clue 3, I think, is coming out Friday. So I want to get started on that. Although I won't be spending as much time knitting, I do want to get started on that, because for you knitters out there, if you have seen Clues 1 and 2, you know they are amazing. If you haven't seen them on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, search on the tag, the hashtag Texture Time. If you're on Ravelry, go to the projects or go to his Ravelry group. He has a separate Ravelry group set up for Texture Time, and just scan through the images. It's amazing. All right, guys, I think that is all. I'm sure I've forgotten something because I don't have notes, but that's okay. I'm at 46 minutes. It's time to go and start working on putting this together and getting it uploaded. Like I said, if you want to see more of our travel stuff, oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I was talking back and forth with Cindy, Cindy Cross Stitches. So when we go to Hawaii, we are going to videotape our tours of the houses, whether it's rental properties, apartments, or whether it's houses that we end up buying. So I told Cindy that maybe we'll do like a House Hunters Hawaii and videotape them, and you guys can vote on which ones you think we should pick. Which one you think we should pick. So yeah, let me know if you think that would be interesting. If so, we'll post them here, maybe here and on Sunsets in Sangria. I don't know, Mike and I will have to talk about that, but let me know if you have any interest in touring Hawaii with us. We will be staying at a hotel down in Waikiki, so we will be doing some just regular, video of what that's like. So we're pretty excited. Keep giving us some prayers and some positive thoughts that the apartment gets fixed before we go. I would appreciate that. That's one stressor that I would like to get solved before we get on a plane. The other thing we need to get solved, the travel agent that the government agency that Mike works for deals with, they booked our flights yesterday, and they booked us not sitting together. We have 4 flights, right? Here to Phoenix, Phoenix to Hawaii, and then Hawaii to Dallas, and Dallas to Maryland, to BWI. They didn't sit us together at all. And Mike looked yesterday, and there's seats available together. Why wouldn't you sit a husband and wife together on those long flights? So we're going to cancel those and make our own reservations. So that's another thing we have to get sorted out here. But again, it'll all work out. It always does. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you like what you're seeing, in spite of all of my rambling, hit that bell so you'll get, the notifications that I've put up a new video. Obviously didn't get a Stitch With Me done before this. Maybe I'll get one done later in the week. You never know what I feel like doing at any given time. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.